Hello and welcome to another FSD video in Brisbane. We're still on version 13.2.9, which is the first release of FSD in Australia. And this time testing across the whole city through motorways, tollways, some tunnels, a lot of areas I haven't been to before with FSD, so it'll be a good test. I'll go ahead and speed the video up in the boring bits, which fortunately with FSD in Australia so far has been quite often. The fact that the drives are so smooth and so safe, we haven't had too many errors. There's a few minor things we'll go through, but overall, the experience has been exceptional. Now, obviously, that's a great thing for FSD and the development of autonomous driving. It makes the product fantastic to use. But unfortunately, for video purposes on YouTube, it's not that exciting to watch. So I'll try and minimize those boring bits. Now, just quickly for those who are new to the FSD and seeing FSD videos, this is a supervised system. So you do need to pay attention. You can't just go to sleep or be sitting in the back seat. You are still 100% responsible for the safety of the vehicle, for any road rules it might break, and making sure that everything's going smoothly. So as I mentioned, this is the first version released in Australia. It is making some mistakes. I haven't seen anything that is safety critical at this point, more so with just failing to change lanes early enough, which results in it having to reroute, or just being a little bit too cautious, which is completely understandable at this stage of development. But both can be overcome fairly easily by using the indicator button to tell it to change lanes, or using what we now refer to as the pedal of encouragement on the right to just encourage it to speed up a little bit. And sometimes it just needs that little tap on the pedal to do that. Important to note also that the system's constantly monitoring the driver. It watches your eyes to make sure you're paying attention. And if you look away for too long, it will give you a warning. If you fail to heed that warning and respond by tugging the steering wheel just slightly, it will kick you out. If you do that enough times, it'll actually ban you from using full self-driving for a period. Overall, the system's been excellent. I've had most of my drives be completely intervention-free, maybe just one touch of the pedal or a couple of touches of the indicator buttons. But other than that, it knows where I'm going because it's connected to my calendar. I just get into the car in the garage and push a button, and that's all I have to do from there to the destination. One other note with version 13, it doesn't quite link up with auto parking. So it'll take you to the destination and then stop in an appropriate area, similar to a robotaxi type thing where it's dropping you off. You can then engage the auto parking to make it to park. But version 14 sounds like we'll do that full end to end of the trip and find a suitable park. So we'll be interesting to see that. That's one of the fantastic things with FSD is that, even though these versions are so capable, we're always using the worst it's going to be. Here's a good example here where it's staying in the left-hand lane. There's a merge coming up just ahead. And with those line of vehicles in the right-hand lane, I would have probably changed lanes prior to the light, but I've let this go. We'll see how it handles once that light turns green. While we wait, version 14 seems to be rolling out now in the US, has a 4.5x parameter increase, so it's going to be quite a bit more capable. Here we go. We're moving forward in the lights now, and it's going to wait till pretty much the last minute to change lanes. Fortunately, there is a bit of a gap there, so it hasn't been too difficult for it to do. But it's human-like behavior. Unfortunately, a lot of people do that, but I don't like it personally. But as I said, you can override that by getting it to change lanes by just hitting the indicator button. I just wanted to see how it would handle it. And especially if you get someone not letting you in, it's going to make it harder. It's got to kind of force its way in. We take the exit onto the freeway. Pretty tight bend here. It slows down appropriately. Should note I've got a new camera mount here, so I'm just testing things out. It'll be a bit lower next time, so you see a better forward view. And here, I think I'm giving it a bit of accelerator. It's coming into the 100 zone, and it just hasn't picked picked up speed appropriately. But yeah, like I said, it is a little bit cautious. Driving a little bit below the speed limit. But, the car in front's pretty much doing the same speed as well, so it's better to be a little bit cautious rather than the other way around at this stage. It really is impressive how smoothly it's been driving. It's only going to get better again, but already it's just a smooth driver. You can see there that message pop up that autopilot will not brake. That's me giving it a bit of a encouragement pedal. And we'll just speed this section up a bit. It's just boring highway driving. So here we have the first mistake. It's picked up that 80 sign, but it hasn't slowed down for some reason. You can set speeds by tapping on the symbol there, which I tried to do. Didn't work, so I've had to use scroll wheel to force it to slow down to 80. It also needs to get in the right-hand lane here, so I'm waiting to see if it's going to do it. And it hasn't, so I've hit the indicator button to tell it to, and it's just got over in time, so it was cutting that one. Well, I don't think it would have done it myself, but if it did, it would have had to do it over the solid line, so it wouldn't have been good. Otherwise, it would have to have gone to the left there and rerouted, which again would add time to the trip. So not ideal. These things will get better. It has picked up the 60 sign there, and it's slowing down to 60, doing slightly over, at least indicated. Also important to note, most people do about 80 or 90 along here. But that's a very short 60 zone between 200 zones, so it's a little bit silly. But into the 100 zone now and slowly speeding up. Yep, that's me giving it a bit of encouragement again. And back to the 100 again. You'll notice me using the scroll wheel there. I can set the maximum speed it can go to. I have it at default to 5% over its stage of the drive. I did change that later on. The idea is it will try to stick to the speed limit, though if vehicles all around you are driving faster than the speed limit, it will then go up to that maximum speed that you tell it it's allowed to. Unfortunately, in Australia, compared to the US, they're a lot more strict on speed limits, and will book you for just doing a couple of kilometres an hour over. So even though it's safer to be with the traffic, that is the way they do things. So I did change it shortly to have no offset. So at this point, we decided we need to make a quick stop off to a shopping centre. So I'm just adding that stop in, and the system will go ahead and route us to that location on the way. And here it is now coming up to that exit. Does a good job taking the exit, no issues. Left at the roundabout here. Does a great job of waiting for an appropriate gap. With the acceleration of the Tesla, it can sneak into those gaps there, but It's being cautious, and you see that it preemptively started moving as that last vehicle was passing us. It does kind of hang in the bike lane a little bit too much here to my liking as it turns a corner. It goes into the left-hand lane. Would have taken that a bit sharper and stayed out of the bike lane. I did cut the video here as I was brand new to the shopping centre and just wanted to find the closest entrance to the shop we wanted to get in now as quick as we could. So I'll rejoin as we leave. And here we are ready to start again. It's still got our destination in there. It's just a matter of hitting that blue button and away it goes, reversing out of the car park. And it's going to navigate the car park and do a good job of it on this occasion. Car parks can be hit and miss because they're obviously not well mapped, but it's gone the right way and finds the exit very well. Very cautious around pedestrians, particularly in car parks, more so than it is on city streets. I suspect because pedestrians are just a little bit more unpredictable in car parks. So again, that's a good thing. But here we are, it's already found the exit. It isn't quite the exit to the car park yet, but it's the exit to that section and sets it up to go straight to the exit of the actual car park itself. Slows down for speed bumps very well. I haven't had it miss one yet. It's always been at an appropriate speed over speed bumps. It does tend to take some roundabouts a little bit slower than I'd like. But again, use that encouragement pedal to make it go a little bit faster. Whether it was by fluke or not, I'm not sure, but it happened to pick the perfect lane for this particular section, which I've never been here before, so I had no idea. It did do that a couple of times on this trip. There was forks in the road where I thought we had to go right. It confidently went left and turned out to be right. So that's another big advantage of this system as the mapping gets better, as it gets used more around these Australian streets. It'll become better as far as navigation goes. And if you're in an area you don't know, it really saves a lot of hassle having the car know where it's going and be able to take you there. Here we're into a bit of traffic coming up to roadworks, and it confidently will merge. It does wait till towards the end of the lane, but confidently merges there, no issues at all. And this is another huge benefit of the system. If you're in roadworks, start traffic, it just takes all that hassle away, and you can just sit there and watch it do its thing and not have to be constantly steering and accelerating, braking. One area I don't quite like. It allows cars to merge in and will let them in, but it tends to leave enough space for them to merge in comfortably. But for some drivers, I usually like to leave a bit more space. Some drivers are a bit more nervous about merging in unless there's plenty of space. That's kind of creeping up there and really waiting for that person to commit before it backs off again. So I'd like it to give a bit more space personally. Come into one of those first of the tunnels. I did fix that speed offset up here because I know the speed camera's in the tunnels and don't want to risk it. It's just safer, yes, in Queensland especially, to have that offset to 0, I think. But yeah, the handles the tunnels fine. Previous versions of autopilot had issues with those speed signs, the lit up speed signs on the roof there. Sometimes thought they were traffic lights. You'll see that it does pop up in the visualizations there as traffic lights, but FSD is smart enough to know that they're not and treat them accordingly. You can also see there pretty clearly above the rear view mirror, those flashing IR lights that are actually monitoring the eyes. That's part of the driver attention monitoring system. Uses the infrared to help see that you're paying attention. Here you can see I've used the indicator button just to encourage it to overtake the car in front that was doing significantly under the speed limit, and it's quickly got up to 80 kilometers an hour. Here's one of those points where I wasn't sure which way to go. I was thinking I had to go right here, but it confidently took the left, and it turned out to be right, so I was quite happy with that. Again, here I've used the right-hand indicator just to encourage it to or suggest that it moves over to the right-hand lane. I was thinking that it's the road split off a bit closer than it actually was, so it may have handled that fine by itself, but it's very easy just to give it that suggestion to say, hey, move over. You'll notice here that it pauses at the intersection so that it doesn't block the intersection. It's got a very good understanding of how long the car is and ensuring that it doesn't go ahead when the intersection isn't clear. So it's a fantastic feature that most humans don't do. So overall, it's about an hour trip all up. No safety critical or no interventions at all. A couple of just suggestions with the encouragement pedal and the indicator buttons, but it didn't nag me once for not paying attention. It was able to handle sunglasses, no issues. I know some people have some issues with sunglasses for some reason, but it seems to be able to see that I'm paying attention even with sunglasses on. And it was a great, uneventful trip that was made so much easier with FSD.